Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our live for Nerdsters of the Universe. I am Kerwin, and
I'm Pizza. How are you tonight?
Pete's in the house. We're going to go short this time.
Yeah.
We're going to try to keep it to an hour.
Okay.
You know, we may continue to talk afterwards, and I think we might record it and put that up later.
Yeah.
But just for the live, we'll go for about an hour. I almost didn't do my homework on this. I almost didn't get Winter Soldier watched. Falcon and Winter Soldier. I tried watching it 2 or 3 times, and Disney Plus kept crashing.
Yeah, whoops, let me turn that down.
But I was able to watch it today on my lunch, so I caught up.
I was waiting to bust some chops today, but I thought, okay, we'll let him slide. He let me slide pretty good last week, although there was the occasional good dig in there, but got to be prepared in this biz.
Oh yeah, no, gonna give a good dig. I mean, I watched the new Mighty Ducks show, and I don't believe you have, but that wasn't homework. That wasn't something we were challenging each other to do. I know one thing we had discussed doing in the past was both of us picking and choosing shows to talk about that, one person may have time to watch or may be interested in, that the other person really isn't, because, in Nerdum, not everybody loves everything.
Right.
It's just life.
And that's the way we are. We try to make sure we get everybody covered. Like you watched Mighty Ducks, I got sucked into on Netflix, Penny Dreadfuls. That's that series.
I think Crashly watched that. I don't know.
I wasn't sure I was going to be a fan about it, but it's got a. I turned that off. What the heck?
Are the mothership calling you?
Yeah, right. No, I'm not a nerd, right? My notification ring is the Starfleet subspace. There we go. But yeah, I figure I like the genres. I like the classic Dracula, Wolfman, Frankenstein's monster, Mary Shelley, and I think that kept it up. Not as close to the originals, but it had a nice twist in it. And
I'll have to watch it.
I've been waiting all week to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Well, I'm going to make you wait longer because you made me wait.
Okay, go ahead.
Because the last week I couldn't talk about it because you hadn't watched it. So I'm going to make you wait a little bit. Sorry, everyone else who's wanting to talk about it and chat about it, but
I put it off, I think, last week subconsciously because I wasn't sure. I knew it wasn't Steve Rogers, and I seen some spoilers. There's going to be some spoilers in here a bit, but I did watch it. I watched both episodes, and I liked some of it, but I'm not sure.
You can't talk about it yet. I'm not allowing you.
Oh, okay. We talk about Penny Dreadful. I will tell you the one thing with Penny Dreadful, British television, they're not just the cursing, but there is a lot of nudity in British television, man. I was surprised. I forgot about that. And when I saw Billie Piper was one of the stars of the show from Doctor Who, Bad Wolf, and she's the Bride of Frankenstein in this. She turns out to be the Bride of Frankenstein. Okay. And she's just pulling her clothes off every other episode, man. I was like, wow. No secrets there, for crying out loud. But,
I think I'm going to give it a shot. I think I was thinking of a different show.
I tried finishing the originals, and I'm on about season 3 of that. And it's starting to get repetitive again, like Vampire Diaries did. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, look, this villain's back. Oh, wait, we killed him. Oh, wait, there's a twist. Here, he's back again. And it's getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I need a break. Let's try something different.
All right. I'm going to go ahead. I'm sharing our stream on our Facebook page. I completely and totally forgot to do that. While I'm doing that, I want to say hi to Yvonne and Captain Kung Fu. Welcome back, guys.
Oh, yeah, back from last week. It's good to see you guys.
Coming back. All right.
Let's see. Yeah, I got
There we go.
It looks like
Yeah, see,
I can see me in there.
I watched a little
There
bit of
we are.
Vampire Diaries back when it was airing. Crashly rules.
And Deborah.
Deborah. Hi, Deborah.
Deborah's one of from the crafty community from Crashly's channel and Val's channel, and she comes and support us, and we really appreciate it. And I know Val is from the raid last week.
Yep, they all love Crashly.
And being nerdsters, I know Val and Jen, DP Addiction Adventures, are starting their live fandom thing. Their collab with the fandom diamond painting. So if you get a chance to stop by and see those two channels too. And as always, the lovely Crashly's channel. Crashly.
She's got enough fans. Look at the chat.
Yeah, I know. It's all Crashly rules.
Yeah, I know. I have to check out Penny Dreadful. Like I said, I watched Vampire Diaries a little bit. Sorry, I got cat fur flying around. I watched Vampire Diaries a little bit when it aired, and it was like hit or miss, but Crashly got into it, and you know how it is. When your wife's into a show, it may not be one of those things where you're like, oh, I'll watch it. You know, you may not even want to watch it. Be like one of those things like, I don't want to watch that show. I tried watching it years ago. I don't like it. Not going to watch it. And then like 2 days later, you're like,
wait, what's Stefan going to do now?
Hold on. What's going on? Like, you're just stuck.
I have to say, when I first started watching
Dance Moms. 0-1. I don't even like, but when she was watching it episode after episode, it's like I walk by the TV and just, what's going on now? What's going on? What is that one chick mad about that one woman? And what the
I watched Vampire Diaries when Val started watching it, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh great, I'm just dad. I don't get the TV control of the TV too much. And then as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, Damon's pretty badass.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, ooh, look at Rebecca. Ooh, Caroline. Yeah, I'm like, and then we're binging, and then 2 days later, I'm like, shut up. Caroline's crying. Shut up. You know,
That's what it's like, man. And the next thing you know, you watch originals, and then you watch legacies, and you're just like,
I started to watch the legacies. I don't think I'm gonna really get into that.
You gotta finish originals to watch legacies.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
You gotta finish it to understand.
I think I'm on season 4 of the originals now. I think I just started season 4. Okay. But I took a break. Falcon Winter Soldier. I did Penny Dreadfuls. I really got into. I really liked it. And I'm still going on that. But I'm still going through my Star Trek withdrawal. And I watched the Snyder Cut again just to see if there was anything I missed.
Can't wait till we get some new Star Trek up. I mean, come on, CBS All Access. Wait, Paramount Plus. I'm sorry, why Paramount? Why? Like, CBS All Access. I hadn't really seen anything else that said All Access. Had you? Did you see any other?
It's called Paramount Plus now.
No, I know. But when it was CBS All Access, did you see anything else that was like a studio All Access?
No.
I hadn't. And then Disney comes out with Disney Plus, and it's huge. And then Paramount's like, how could we compete? Let's change it to Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
How original.
I have to say, I'm still on the Star Trek kick on the 32nd Century arc with that. And I have to say, I ordered a few more things from that one shop that we started to promote the first episode.
Oh, we got the comm badges from?
Yeah. I'm trying to find their channel so I know I say the name right. I've also been doing more. I've been making some Superman costumes. And if you're on eBay and you need a good patch, anything embroidered, Katara 8 is on eBay. She's the link on eBay that I go to.
Mm-hmm.
She's got Starship Troopers, Star Trek all genres, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, The Flash.
You're gonna have to send me those links after stream's done so I can add them into the description.
Yeah. And being the Superman fan I am, I have about 9 different patches that I bought 7x10. I got this one from her, but I started from the original 1939 Superman, the yellow with the black and just the little S in it.
Mm-hmm.
I got George Reeves Superman patch. I got Christopher Reeves. I got Dean Cain. I got a few different colors of them. And it's just high quality stuff. The name of this one company is, it looks like it's Bez Jacques. I'm not even going to try it. It's BESXIOJIN. That's the name of the store. They have a 99.5% positive rating, which I think is real good for a Chinese mask company on eBay, because you're not going to please everybody, but I've been nothing but pleased with their stuff. So I can't say their name enough, and I'll send you the links for that. They have pins, props, Mortal Kombat, comm badges, uniforms, and for bigger guys like myself, we'll say of ample girth, who are a little larger, they cover us pretty well. I got a 50-inch chest. I'm a 50 regular jacket, and they cover me. I got a uniform that'll fit me. So
I haven't measured what kind of jacket I wear. I know I wear a 38 inch, loose 38-inch pant. I'd say 37 because 36s tend not to fit, and 38s tend to require a belt and an extra large shirt. But I don't want to. I was at Sam's the other day, and I'm like, ooh, the blood pressure machine. I haven't done that thing in forever. I need to check my blood pressure. And yeah, it was mean to me. It said I had blood pressure and was obese.
They always do that. I think some of the things, being in healthcare myself, some of the measurements and the way they do it, you just have to look at your body fat percentage. Mm-hmm. I was always heavy. I was always a little, even when I was at my peak fitness, when I was in the military, because I was a Fleet Marine Force hospital corpsman. What saved me all the time for my body fat percentage is the smallest my neck was 18 inches. So that always saved me. And my waist was, I think, 32, 34 back then. But I had a 48-inch chest and an 18-inch neck. And you just got to look. If you're healthy and the inches are different, that's why I started working out again, being, at my age, 52. And I want to see my kids walk down the aisle one day, and so Dad's got to start, putting the cupcakes down and that kind of thing. So
yeah, same here. I'm getting that drum belly going on, and I'm like, oh god, I gotta do something. I do physical labor at work. I nonstop when I'm working. Yeah. But at the same time, that's not exercise. It's physical labor. I'm moving a bunch of boxes and loading them on a trailer, packing them up. But that only works certain aspects. It doesn't work the full core and the full body. Right. So you're not always getting the cardio going on, or you're not, and I found that out working at other places. Where some of my back problems started was I was doing a lot of physical labor with my upper body. Yeah. Doing a lot of arm and upper back and stuff, and not working out any other parts at the time. It's caused pinched nerves, and it just doesn't. It's tight. It just gets way too tight, and it's just because you don't stretch because you don't look at work as an exercise, and then you're only working out a certain part. So I'm working on getting the garage. Yeah, so much stuff to do around here. We're going to get in the garage, straightened back out. Wanting to throw at least a treadmill or two in there, and just.
I got a really nice treadmill here. It's sitting in my garage with boxes on it. And Bill, yes, not that the machines are made by Big Pharma, but they're not exactly kept calibrated all the time. They may be off, because I've just popped my arm in one of those things once at Walmart, and I'm like, holy crap, what is my, because I take meds for my blood pressure. And then I get home and I check my real machine, and I'm like, oh, whew, thank God,
All right, like I said, it was mean to me. I don't believe it 100%. Come on, when you put your arm in it and you're sitting there trying to relax, you can barely get your arm into the cuff. The cuff is so small. Like I get down and it's like, shimmy it in there, and then then stop. Keeps going tighter. It's like, all right. But
and one thing with taking your blood pressure. Usually you have different size cuffs as well. Like if I put a little bitty blood pressure cuff for someone like, say, Crashly's size or my daughter's size with a small arm, my blood pressure is going to be through the roof because my arm is, a lot bigger than theirs. And then the same thing goes the other way. If I put my big cuff on my daughter, her blood pressure is going to be like, 5/2. You gotta.
You know what it is. You know what it is, Pizza. You know what it is. We're built to be superheroes. We don't need that blood pressure stuff. Sign us up for the next movie, Marvel show. Come on. Yep. Or
although,
Hey, Bill, we're getting some nerd talk.
Storage.
We talked some nerd talk, but you came in a little late. So, I'm busting your chops. Oh, welcome back, Bill. And yeah, they are by Big Pharma. No, speaking of the Ducks, Rob, did you like the movies back when they came out in the 90s?
I used to love them. Yeah, like when Emilio Estevez and all those guys were the it guys of the 80s, etc.
Yeah, I mean, the Ducks, the three of them. I mean, it made me want. I've gone back. I've watched 1, 2, and I'm halfway through 3. Again,
Yeah,
just because it made me nostalgic. I mean, it's awesome, and it keeps you in. It's not like it's a continuation, but it's fresh. So it has some predictable moments.
Of course, yeah. Well,
but when when Emilio Estevez comes out, you're just like, yeah, just because it's not the Ducks without him.
He screamed across the house.
What are you talking about?
You saw the one guy.
I just said that.
You're like, yeah! And I'm like, who died? Who is dead right now?
Well, if we scream, does it mean we have to scream like Angelica,
Eliza,
and Peggy?
But no, I just like he just walks out and he's coming because he's in the show. You're expecting it, but at the same time, it's just like, yes, it still has him in it.
Yeah,
and you can tell they're going a retake, a revamped direction with it. But to still have him in it, and he says some iconic line type stuff. It's just, if you liked the Mighty Ducks movies, definitely check out the new show. I mean, it's only got 1 episode up, so I mean, you're fine if you wait till episode 2 comes up and then watch both of them back to back just to get a little bit more, because it left me wanting. It was like, come on, it's literally the way they're making these shows now is all on. Yeah. It's like a movie with pause button.
I think you're going to see a lot more of these rehashes like that of the older movies coming back as TV shows, since Cobra Kai has gotten really big that way. The 80s movies, now they're the TV shows. Mm-hmm. And I have to say, I love Cobra Kai. I watched that season. I watched that second season in one day. I just sat there and binged it.
Cobra Kai did it right.
Yeah,
it's not exactly a redo of the Karate Kid.
Right, it's just a continuation.
It's a continuation of it, but it's not going crazy. It's literally just a continuation of the original 2 characters.
Right.
It brings in others, it has their own drama, but that is what is perfect about it. Now, Mighty Ducks Game Changers isn't exactly that kind of continuation. It's
okay.
Just to give you a quick premise without spoiling too much. I think you can gather this from the previews. I watched the trailer on it, and you can gather it from the trailer. Is the Mighty Ducks have become this huge peewee hockey team, in its area, and the main kid gets cut from the team.
Okay. And
the coach tells him, the coach at the time's whatever. Well, his mom, who was in Gilmore Girls and what was that other show?
What? She's in all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah. What was the other one we watched though?
I don't
know. She played Lorelai Gilmore in Gilmore Girls. I can't remember her name.
Yeah, it's the one I'm not real big on.
What?
Sorry.
Again, another show that
It's
So
not
it's
that I don't. It's not that I don't like it. It's just I've actually never seen that one.
Yeah.
Her name is Lauren Graham.
Lauren Graham. Lauren Graham plays the mom.
Okay.
And so she decides, let's start our own team. You're not going to be on the Ducks. Let's start our own team.
Okay.
And then it's, it's sort of, you're back to that feel of the original Mighty Ducks, where it's ragtag kids trying to, become not be the laughing stock type thing.
Okay.
But it is a continuation. It's like history repeats itself, and it does.
Yeah.
But
that's what I like about the Cobra Kai, the way they did it. It's this continuation, but it's from another perspective also. You're getting Johnny's perspective of it. But, are we allowed to talk Falcon and Winter Soldier yet?
Yeah, we could talk Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay. I have to say, from talking to you, I know you kind of liked it.
Oh, I love it, man.
Yes,
I love it.
I'm still a little off put on the new Captain America.
Dude, it's U.S. Agent.
It's still, I'm not feeling it yet.
It's U.S. Agent. You're not supposed to feel it.
That I know.
You're a DC guy. I get it. You're a DC guy. But he's U.S. Agent. And it's like, all right, you watch the MCU's Captain America. You look at Chris Evans as America's ass.
Yeah.
And it's right there. You're like, that is an awesome rendition of Captain America. This new guy is, yes, he's Captain America in Falcon Winter Soldier, but the character is U.S. Agent from the comics.
Yeah.
And he's right there. You're not supposed to like him as Captain America. He's supposed to look like a weirdo imposter. You're supposed to be like, who is this guy and why does he have Cap's shield?
Yeah.
But as far as the character, and it's on point. It's beautiful. And I'm sorry, I loved the Netflix comic book shows. I loved the CW comic book shows. I've loved all kinds of comic book shows that have come out, and I loved WandaVision. But I have to say, Falcon and Winter Soldier is by far, so far, my favorite comic book TV series. The way they're playing out the episodes, the way that they're focusing on character, it feels like a prime time TV series / blockbuster film wrapped into one.
Yeah, it's got the same miniseries thing going as WandaVision did, but I like the way they're bringing the different like I like Bucky's story now, the way they're developing his character, and Falcon, you got like his family, what's going on with him. There's just the things. Granted, then they brought the new character in, who was the super soldier that nobody knew about.
Mm-hmm.
And then the villains are all super spoilers again. Not to, we mentioned that, but they all are super soldier types, super villains. I know some of this has happened in the comic books, and that's one of the things I never liked is they just changed history and circumstance to like fit the narrative of the show. Granted, it's a good show, and I especially like the relationship between Bucky and the little old Japanese guy. I forgot his name offhand. The one he sits in the bar with, and
the one who's Sonny killed.
Yeah, I like the way that's going, and I think, and I know you're not supposed to like this new guy, the Captain America guy, but they even got him a little sidekick now, and that's really chapping my backside. His little sidekick, with Sergeant Major Stripes Walton from the Marine Corps. I'm not sure what the Army version was.
All right, Pete, so you got new homework. Catch up on Marvel. Put the DC fanboydom down and catch up on some Marvel.
Yes, that is going to be so easy for me to do, right? Yeah. In the background here,
Because like these characters talk about, they did some in the comics. They're characters from the comics, and the fact is, it's to do that doesn't discount. Like, I hate the term retcon when it's not a true retcon. To me, a retcon is when you're trying to change the perception of an event to close a plot hole. To me, that's a retcon.
Yeah.
But to bring in new information that just wasn't stated before isn't a retcon. It's just bringing in new information that you didn't see.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, I know the whole.
We knew that there were other super soldier projects.
Yeah.
Because Bucky became a super soldier.
Yeah, from the Soviet Union.
Captain America's not the last one. Bucky isn't the last one or the first one. Hydra was in charge of had infiltrated S.H.I.E.L.D. for numerous years.
Flag Smashers are gonna have
and Bucky was their, number one assassin. So that they had been doing other things, but they're going to keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
When they spoke to Isaiah, which was an actual Captain America in the comics.
Yeah.
When they spoke to him, he talked about being imprisoned for 10 years and experimented on. So it's obvious they didn't make him a forefront, be like, oh, hey, look, we've got this new guy here. I mean, it's just because they haven't talked about him in the past doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Right.
That would be literally like saying the entire series of Agent Carter is a retcon. It's the information we haven't seen.
I mean, granted, I'm not as up on Marvel as you are. I know U.S. Agent and all that stuff like that. And I know you're not really supposed to like him just because of the way they made him come out all cheeseball and the photo ops and all that stuff. And it's going to be like WandaVision was for me, where I'm going to have to grow on it. It's going to have to grow on me. I'm going to keep watching it. I'm sure I'll complain about it a little bit here and there. But
it's okay. I've got my complaints about Snyder Cut, so.
Yeah, I know. But the best part of that whole thing I liked is when that little girl was in the back of the truck and came out, smiled at him, and then kicked his ass right out of the back of the truck.
No, it was an awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome 2 episodes. Amazing 2 episodes. Yeah. I loved, and this is what I mean by prime time. Like, the Arrowverse shows, they were primetime shows on CW. They had good ratings, but to me, that primetime show is like Law and Order.
Right.
They're the show that everyone watches, and that's what this show feels like. Mm-hmm. Each episode has its own heart, but the soul of the entire show continues. It's just one of those situations where you want to see more. You want to see what's going on. You want to see these characters develop. But the drama that they entangle with it, and to see where they go with that, mixed in with some comedy, and it's just like, it's the perfect thing. It doesn't feel cheesy at all.
No.
Yeah, you get a cheesy feel when Captain America, when U.S. Agent comes out as Captain America, but he's cheesy.
I think it's supposed to have that cheese to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, granted, I'm a DC guy. There's no change in that. I like Marvel. And I have to say, with the movies and shows we're getting today, Marvel has good writing for it. They have I will say they've hit. I mean, I like the CW DC shows, but I will say Marvel has been hitting the nail right on the head lately. And that's why I keep saying I keep watching it and I'm keep going to get into it. But I think it's going to take like WandaVision. It's going to take a few minutes and a few episodes to go like, all right.
So, I thought that too, Bill, when it was happening. I'm like, he's in between the trucks. Why didn't the guy in the back truck radio something? Because obviously it's not in a time where they can't just, someone's breaking into the truck.
Yeah.
But once she fights back, I'm like, okay, I get it.
Oh, yeah, that's why she just beat his
He's not worried. He's going to get his ass kicked. It's just, man.
It was so good. She just put that little smile on her face and then just bam, clocked him.
And again, like I said, it's sincere. The show is sincere. The relationship between Bucky and Falcon, Sam and Bucky, it's extremely sincere. They've got that friendship, but they've got that you're annoying me and I don't like you because you gave away my best friend of 100-year shield.
Yeah, the shield.
And
I don't felt the same way.
Rooting psycho.
I felt the same way when he came out with the Captain's shield. I'm like, no, shut up, no way.
He did what he thought was right.
Right. Yeah.
Even at the end of Endgame, when everybody's all like, "Oh, it wouldn't feel right. Personally, it wouldn't have felt right to have Endgame the way it ended, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier, Falcon just shows up, starts using the shield.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he straight up said it didn't feel like his.
Yeah, he said it feels like someone else's. Yeah.
Yeah. He wasn't comfortable with it. And I just...
And Bucky has just too many issues to, bless you, start pulling it off.
Oh, yeah. Well, Bucky's not going to do it because he wasn't chosen. And
Right.
if Cap didn't choose him, he's not going to choose himself.
Right.
But, oh, man. I don't know if you caught it, but when he goes, oh, you came back as the White Panther? I'm the White Wolf, actually.
Yeah, the White Wolf from Wakanda.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw that. I caught that. I'm like, oh, I know Kerwin's jumping up and down now.
I just... Like
Everybody
I said,
here had no clue what I was talking about.
It has something for everyone. You know, the Netflix shows did really well making comic booky shows.
Right.
Like if you were to think of a comic book show based on how comic book movies have been over the last 20 years, Netflix hit the nail on the head with it.
Stargirl.
Well,
I liked Stargirl. I really did.
I like Stargirl, but that's CW. I was talking about
Netflix.
No, Stargirl, CW.
Oh, okay.
No,
That's
CW
right.
and HBO Max. Netflix was Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and
Yeah, see, I mean,
Iron Fist. When you think of a comic book movie over the past 20 years,
yeah,
and you think of making a show in that playbook,
yeah,
Netflix had it. What Disney Plus, what Marvel has done with Falcon and Winter Soldier, in my opinion, is they've evolved it. They've merged the comic book movie with the mainstream drama.
yeah. Like we were talking about, it's not meant to be a show. It's not meant to be a movie. We got the miniseries thing going.
Yeah.
The old days when they would play like 5 nights of, and then you get like 5. What was WandaVision? Was 9 episodes?
Yeah.
So,
8 episodes.
And they know and I have to say their writing is really good. They are touching on a lot of the original stuff from the comic books and throwing a little more in there. Some of the CW shows or the Netflix shows, like Daredevil, Punisher, Iron Fist, I didn't really get into too much of them. I did like, I want to say Daredevil or Punisher, Deborah Ann Wall from True Blood, the redhead from True Blood. She was in The Lawyer. I think it was Daredevil.
Yes.
Yeah, she was in that one, so I started watching it.
She was actually in. She made an appearance in almost all of them.
Did she?
Yeah, she made an appearance in almost all of them, and oh gosh, my sinuses are killing me, so I drew a blank. She was in Mandalorian. She played Ahsoka Tano.
Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson, yeah. She was like the bridge between all of them. But no, I love those shows, and I still want them. I want them to be MCU canon. I want them to be pulled into it because they can. They weren't, they only had a small time frame. They didn't, have to go all over. I mean, look, watch Ant-Man. Ant-Man 1 and 2 aren't really affected so much with everything else that happened in the MCU.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they're full canon. I mean, the only thing in Ant-Man 2 that was affected by the MCU was him being on house arrest because of the events in
from
Civil
Germany.
War.
Yeah, Germany.
And then him getting stuck in the quantum realm, or whatever you want to call it, when Thanos snaps. Those are the only 2 things that actually have a full connection with Ant-Man 2. And then Ant-Man 1, he goes to the Avengers headquarters and fights Falcon.
Right.
That's it. So, the fact that we can have 2 movies like that in the MCU that were affected by other films in the MCU, but not driving forces into the main MCU plot, with the exception of Endgame, where Ant-Man comes back and says, hey, by that point, it had already been established in the MCU. You know, that can happen. These other shows can go in. You know, the Civil War, you got Spider-Man who's already been fighting crime, yet we never heard of him. We went through all the other MCU movies until Civil War.
Yeah.
And that's when we finally hear of the Spider-Man character flying around or going around.
Yeah.
So obviously there's more heroes. Obviously there's more people involved. We just don't see them. We just haven't heard them. It's not a retcon to go back and pull them in. It's just filling in holes we haven't seen before. And I love the fact they leave it open so new directors, new producers, new writers can come in and fill those holes with their visions when they get the job. Instead of having to try to write a script on boards that are already laid out that aren't malleable.
And I think trying to go from completely comic book to movie would be a little hard because you figure a comic book you have, you know, maybe 10 pages and it's kind of scattered around, and then you got to put it, you know, you got to drag it on a little more and do a little more with it. The only thing I didn't like about it was they made Tony Stark a little too involved in Spider-Man. Was the only thing I wasn't crazy about.
They were going with the Ultimates. Like ever since Avengers, they've been showing that it's been somewhat Ultimates, and there are times where Stark was extremely involved with Spider-Man. If you go back to the other Spider-Man, you know, the original Spider-Man, he helped out some, but that was one thing that was awesome about Peter is he learned a lot of stuff over his own mistakes.
Right.
But you know, I'm trying to sell newer comics. So that it's not like they created anything new for it.
Right. And yes, Bill, I agree with Bill here. The multiverse coming, we're going to get a lot more of the standalone movies.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm waiting for the new Doctor Strange movie.
Oh yeah.
I think they did a good pick with Benedict Cumberbatch with Doctor Strange.
Oh, they've done good picks on all their casting, in my opinion.
Yeah, see, a lot of the stuff they're doing now with Spider-Man and Tony Stark is after me more. I grew up on that 60s, 70s.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Spider-Man and those comic books. And that's when other than Spider-Man, that's when I kind of shifted into the DC mode. Always Superman, Batman.
You know, and like I said, Spider-Man and Stark had a huge... They did end up developing a huge relationship like that. Well, you look at Civil War. It was Stark, in the comics, it was Stark who convinced Peter to come out as Spider-Man during Civil War.
Yes.
And then because of that, Kingpin puts a hit on him, and instead of Spider-Man getting shot, Aunt May gets shot, and then we get the whole Back in Black, which was epic. But
yeah,
exactly. It's the Ultimate Spider-Man has more, but they're pulling from all of them. You know me, I'm not a fan of teenage Spider-Man. I don't like teenage angst. You know, I like my kids shows, and if they're going to be in high school or whatever, if they're kids, I like it to be one of those situations where they're having fun, having a blast, and being kids. The whole, I'm falling in love, and I can't. I just don't.
Even the 60s, 70s cartoon that I watched of Spider-Man had him in college and so on. So it wasn't just the, you know, oh no, I got to get to chemistry class, to gym class. You know, it's like, am I going to get a detention? You know, that kind of thing for missing class. But
I mean, overall, and I mean, I've been saying in the past to other people too, they've got the opportunity here to rewrite the way TV and film is done, especially with streaming service, having Disney Plus.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that people can watch it in their time. They don't have to be there the day it's airing. You know, they can watch it a week later. Just like you don't have to be there to buy the comic book off the shelf the day it releases. If you're a huge fan, that's what you do because you're a huge fan. You don't want spoilers. You don't want this. But I think it would be cool, like, doing these different shows on these characters. It's literally what I feel the formula could evolve from is the idea of how comic books are done. You can have episodic releases of characters. And then you have your big movie. So like your comic books, you've got your Amazing Spider-Man and your, Falcon comics going through, but then you get your big annual comic.
Yeah.
So same situation. You've got your TV series going and then your big movie. And that's just one thing that I think they're on the verge of breaking that, cementing that style.
I mean, the one thing I do miss, and I mean, I understand where you're going, but the way we were growing up with it, the weekly thing in front of the TV where you had to be with your family was kind of the thing I looked forward to. Mm-hmm. We all used to gather in front of the TV as a family, watch our shows, and you got to spend that time together. Now it's like, oh, I caught it after school. Oh, yeah, I'm going to get it on lunch at work, and that kind of thing. The different comic books and different things they do with that, like how they have the Amazing Spider-Man, the Spectacular Spider-Man, but they all connect through. As someone who draws, I mean, as I'm sure Bill will agree, maybe, I'm not sure, but the different art and styles in the different versions as well. Like a lot of people are like, well, what are they doing with this? What are they doing with that? Different people, different styles. Let's see, even with the design, like I tried to explain to my son, the art direction in a movie. Like, okay, someone had to sketch this out and draw, put their style to the new modern outfits, the costumes, or if you want to call them costumes still, and that was one thing I always liked too, because I could see, because when I was younger, I'd be like, all right, this is Spider-Man or this is Batman, but this is the way I want to see him. This is a different suit or a different version of it. And I think Marvel's doing that really well with Tony, like Iron Man, Mark 1, Mark 2, Mark 45, Mark 53, Iron Spider, the other, the new ones.
Which are all suits from the comics.
Yep, stealth suit, the black suit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting to see what they do with the symbiote black suit in this version, as opposed to Sam Raimi version. So,
well, they already did because you got Venom.
Well, I'm waiting to see how they put it in with Spider-Man, though, because I know they have Carnage coming, and I can't wait to see what they do with that.
It's going to be epic. I don't think we're going to get to see a Venom Spider-Man combo for a while.
I keep hearing like rumors of maybe they're going to sneak it in. Oh no, they're not. That's just rumor. I'd like to see it, but
hopefully Sony learned their lesson. Spider-Man 3, Sony forced Raimi to shoehorn Venom in there because everybody wanted Venom.
Yeah,
and
you can tell that was clearly a Sandman movie.
Yeah,
clearly a Sandman movie.
Shoehorned in. It was like, I'm sorry. I enjoyed Venom. I thought I was going to hate it because how can you have a Venom movie without Peter Parker?
Right.
But apparently you can, and you can do it pretty darn good for what you got. I mean, it's Sony, so they're not, it's Sony's here. Marvel expectations are here. You expect what you expect out of certain people and certain companies. But, we've already got the Spider-Verse because of Into the Spider-Verse on the anime side. But we also, if you count end credit scenes as canon, then that's obviously canon because at the end of Venom, the end credit scene is, meanwhile, in another universe.
Right.
We've got an intro to the Spider-Verse. So, and we've got multiverse. So, in essence, Sony's Spider-Verse is going to be MCU canon. It's just going to be a different universe. So will we get a Venom in our Prime MCU universe? Sorry, our Prime MCU. I don't want to say, the Marvel universe. But are we going to get? I don't know because we might lose Spider-Man from that. We might have an MCU without Spider-Man eventually because he will become more of the Spider-Verse.
Right.
We may be able to show up, They may pull a Star Trek Worf situation. Anytime the Enterprise E has an issue that is movie worthy, Worf just happens to show up.
Yeah, right.
which is still awesome. All right.
Can't do it without Worf. You need Worf somewhere,
Yeah, you can't. We're going to make next generation movies. Okay. What about
Okay.
Worf? What about him? He's on DS9.
He's on Deep Space Nine, yeah. And at the end of Deep Space Nine, they moved him to Chrono.
You're cutting out, buddy.
Oh, how's that? All right, there we are.
Okay. At the end of Deep Space Nine, they
we're
what?
They moved him to Kronos. He became
Yeah.
Martok's second hand, right hand man there. So,
well, Bill,
You know.
the theory is that it will connect it. It connects the actors. It connects the ability that the actors are going, because yes, we are getting Michael Keaton to reprise his. They've got Michael Keaton to reprise his role in Morbius that he played in Spider-Man: Homecoming. He's continuing to play Vulture, but also in Morbius there are Spider-Man puzzles which could be complete and total trolling. They didn't like Marvel and Sony and all them haven't trolled us in trailers before, but we've got backgrounds of where is Spider-Man. Spider-Man's vanished, stuff like that. So it's clearly a universe where Spider-Man has been gone for a little while.
Okay.
If you're going based off what you see in the trailers. But at the same time, them, and we know in Spider-Man No Way Home, we're getting Raimi's characters, actors in it. So we're getting that fusion to help make it more, the multiverse more palatable for people who may have not been caught up on it. People like Crashly who get annoyed when they watch this Spider-Man movie, then this Spider-Man movie, then this Spider-Man movie, and no one looks the same, but they're the same characters, and it's just like, Wait a minute, what about this person? What about that person?
Why does Mary Jane have to have blonde hair? I just don't get it.
It wasn't Mary Jane.
Oh.
Well, no, that wasn't Mary Jane.
The same. But they changed the character, but the same role. It's stupid.
No, Gwen Stacy's
girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, and the one thing that Amazing Spider-Man 2 did was kill Gwen Stacy perfectly. That's how she died in the comics before Peter got with Mary Jane.
I didn't like that dude who played Peter in that one though.
No, no one does.
The Spider-Verse is my favorite.
I'm waiting to see
Spider-Verse.
The cartoon one.
Oh, yeah.
I'm waiting to see the trailers I've seen, as brief as they are, of Morbius. I think Jared Leto is going to do amazing with that character. I think ditch Joker, he's done. We gave him a shot. Okay, bye-bye. I think Morbius is going to be where he pulls it off completely.
Leto could have done Joker. Like, even though I'm not a huge Zack Snyder fan, look what he did with Joker and Snyder Cut. So
yeah,
I think the opportunity was there for Leto with Joker, and I would still love to see Leto play a decent Joker. But I'm stoked about Morbius.
Yeah,
I'm stoked about all the stuff coming out on it. On all of it.
I'm waiting to see how much more they actually introduce in Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I can't even begin to figure out the who, what, where, why.
Well, what I've gathered so far is we don't have a true villain yet, in my sense. As I've stated before, I don't see an anti-hero situation as a villain. Like with Thanos in the Avengers movies, to me, Thanos wasn't a true villain, until Endgame when it was about revenge.
Right.
Endgame when I'm just going to erase everybody because screw you guys. That's when he became a true villain. But in Infinity War, when he's just trying to solve something that he sees as a problem and is just mistaken on how to do it, unlike a comic where he's just wanting to impress Death and get with her, that's a villain. He's doing it for personal gain, his own. It's all about me. When you're doing it for an external source, you see a problem and you're trying to fix it. And what I'm seeing so far in Falcon and Winter Soldier is these villains, these super soldiers they're fighting. It's not about them. They've stated, they want it to be like it was before the blip occurred, but we're getting a little bit more information. Apparently, after the blip, people who were in power before the blip that were screwing crap up
are back in power now.
are back in power. Things were changed, and like they were stealing medicine.
Right.
Oh, they're stealing medicine for camps for people who don't have it. So it's like,
yeah, I don't think they're the actual bad guys yet. I think there's going to be a one. They're like almost like the henchmen kind of thing still yet, and you're going to have one big villain controlling them yet. But I still have to see where it's going.
We're going to see a villain. We get a villain next episode. We get a villain, not the villain, but we get a villain. Let's go see Zemo. Bring back Baron Zemo for a little bit. I just, again, like I said, and that's why, because if you were to look at, they're doing it wrong. They're doing it wrong type thing as a villain, then we would look at the Punisher as a villain. We'd look at Deadpool as a villain. We look at all these others no, they're anti-heroes.
They're anti-heroes, yeah.
They're trying to solve a problem. They're just doing it the wrong way.
Right.
And Bill, the government, there is a huge play in this to where the government is.
I noticed they're doing a lot of anti-government, anti-establishment stuff in this one, like where the cops tried, pulling over Falcon and giving him a hard time in the episode.
Yeah,
because he's because he's black, and they're going to give him a hard time till they. Oh, it's you. I'm sorry. My bad.
Which I've known people for that to happen too.
Yeah, I have too.
That crap happens. The thing is, they touch base on these situations, these social issues, but they don't do it in a smack you in the face kind of way.
Right. It was done. It was done tastefully. It was done briefly as it could happen. Like
a social issue. If you're poor, if you're in the lower end, not even poor, but you're that small business owner who's scraping by and just needs help.
Right.
Like Falcon's sister. Well, the big bank, you go into the big bank to try to get a loan. Oh, you haven't worked for the past 5 years. Yeah, I didn't exist.
Yeah, we didn't exist for 5 years.
Well, there's nothing really we can help with that. Sorry. But you're cool. I like you. Like, those little things. Like, I love the little thing. Spoiler. I love that thing when he goes up and the guy's like, "Oh, you're Black Falcon." Like, no, just Falcon. No, my dad said you're Black Falcon. Why? Because I'm black? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, so you're Black Kid?
Yeah.
Like, no, exactly.
Right.
It's like you don't have to be labeled that because of that.
Right.
And I love that, and then to follow it up with the police encounter gave it more tone. Not just that tone as far as a social issue, but a tone is in the reality of the setting of the scene.
Right.
Knowing that the neighborhood he was in, the interaction he had before walking into Isaiah's place, and the situation after Isaiah's place, just goes to show that community, how the events in our communities affect us.
It gave it a little more of the realism to it. Like it wasn't the sugar-coated superhero show. Everybody's happy, bells and whistles, yay. It touched on it, I think, tastefully and, subtly, but it was there. I think it was done really well. I do.
Look at each other's eyes. Are you having a staring contest? Really? Really? Blank.
Me?
No. Did you watch the show?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry.
Thanks for making it awkward.
I zoned for a minute. I was like, wait a minute. Because I'm still in sort of like half dad mode here, so I can hear what's going on upstairs as well.
Click off dad mode.
Yeah, that never happens. It'll never happen. I tried. And at this age,
I got it off. Well, it's not off. It's down to the lowest possible level. In that level, it has a sticker written on it going, as long as they're not killing themselves or each other. And that's what it's down to.
If they're not too loud or too quiet. If they're too quiet, then I still have to be like, oh, geez, what are they doing? Or if they're too loud, like, I can hear them. Like my daughter, I'm looking at my other son. He's like, I'm going to fold you like a lawn chair. She's picking on her brother. So,
All right. Well, we said we were going to keep this one to an hour.
Yes.
We'll still chat after, and I say we record it and then put it up as a later video, as a continuation. But I've gotten feedback by a lot of people that it's a long live.
Yeah. As nerds, we are prone to ramble. So
yes. So we got 5 minutes left before the end of the hour, and we're going to touch base on this after we end the live, and keep an eye out for the video upload. But just real quick, I want from you, Rob.
Okay.
I've got a job.
I know you've thought of it. You know I've thought of it. You know I've stated it, and you know which one I have in mind.
Okay.
But current nerd universe of film, pitch a sequel that hasn't happened yet that you would like to see.
Oh, God. I still want to see, in the Batman universe, I still want to see the Nightfall. I want to see the Azrael Batman.
Okay, but as a sequel to which? A sequel to or prequel? Or like, are you talking like an Azrael Batman and say maybe 89 universe? Keaton's universe?
In Keaton's universe.
So like an Azrael Batman in Keaton's universe?
Right. Because, being he's getting older, and then, this could happen. You can introduce Bane and do the whole Nightfall as a continuation or sequel to Keaton's universe.
All right. I could see that.
He is redoing his role of Batman as in the multiverse, which I can't wait for.
Oh man, yes. The fact that Keaton got back into comic book movies, is by far one of my favorite actors of all time.
And he's the one pulling off both universes together.
Hero in one, villain in the other.
In the other, yeah.
Sometimes you stay the hero so long you turn into the villain.
Ooh, all right. Nice little add to that there.
Little Batman reference for you, right?
There you go.
All right, so here's mine. And you've heard this one, and I'm pretty sure a lot of my friends have heard me say this over and over again. I probably even said it in a live, and I just don't remember it. My sequel would be to Star Trek. And it would be the Star Trek Kelvin universe, the J.J. Abrams verse.
Right.
I want a sequel where we've got Chris Pine's Kirk and all them. And I even got as far as thinking the title. Like it right there, Star Trek Reflection. And it would open up with the current cast of the Abrams verse reenacting just a little tiny bit of Mirror Mirror, the end of Mirror Mirror. Okay. And you get Pine, and that way you get that, people who know that show, know that episode, they've got that visual of, oh wow, this is the classic Trek uniforms, classic Trek show. They get that, and then it would go into what's going on currently after the third Star Trek movie in the Abrams verse, or 13th Star Trek movie, whatever you want to call it. But the film basically would be that Mirrorverse Kirk tried to go back to the Prime universe to get revenge, but when he went to, due to the events of Spock and this new universe being there and universe alignments, that it had gotten to a point where it was, since this universe was so fresh, it was closer to it, that he ends up going into the Kelvin timeline universe. But he doesn't know that.
Right.
So he's going through this entire villain get revenge on Kirk, but then you've got a Kelvin Kirk that has no clue what's going on and why, but he's still fighting himself. And
then have Giorgio come in and change the whole thing around.
No. Leave Giorgio out of it. No.
Yeah.
Stick with Kelvin. Stick with the Kelvin timeline completely. You could throw in little Easter eggs or references, but this would take place, 10, 15 years after the 5-year mission on both ends. You could say it took Kirk a while. It took Mirror Kirk a while to go back, to get to come back. So
Bill says you only had a whiteboard to write.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's just one thing that I would love to see that. I know all the actors in the Abrams verse could pull it off.
Right.
Sadly, we lost Yelchin, who played Chekhov.
Yeah.
But you don't have to kill the character. You can still write him off. He could always be on another ship. Wouldn't be the first time.
Well, that's how he started off Wrath of Khan. He was on the Reliant.
Yeah. And again, this to me truly would be the Kelvin universe's Wrath of Khan. Because Into Darkness wasn't a Wrath of Khan. Like I said numerous times, you can't have Khan as the main villain because he doesn't have an established presence in that universe.
Right.
It's not as vested as Wrath of Khan, who had an established presence in that universe, not just for the villain, but for the fans.
Right.
If you did this, the villain would have an established presence. He already feels wronged by Kirk. And the viewers, the fans, know this because we saw it in Mirror Mirror. And I guess part of it too is my two favorite Star Trek movies are Wrath of Khan and First Contact. And both of those movies are the ones that have deep roots into the TV series.
I thought they were going to do more of a return of Gary Mitchell's character instead of Khan from the first pilot where No Man's Gone Before.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to see something with that too, but
But yeah, no, we'll touch base on it. We'll talk a little bit more. I want to talk for about a half hour more at least. We will. We'll talk it, but we'll go ahead and call our live done for the night. I want to thank you guys for coming. We greatly appreciate it. Live long and prosper. This is the way.
This is any comments or suggestions you have on what we talk about. Please leave them in the comments.
Yes.
Tell your friends, like and subscribe.
Hit that notification bell.
There you go.
Nerdsters out.